All right, we only came up with this segment about 2 hours ago, but I have to tell you, I very much enjoyed doing it. Me, Pilch, and James Curtis, who's been on the podcast before, we were talking about this over the weekend. Were we comparing Butters and Bailey Smith? I can't remember what we were
And
doing,
Walsh,
but
yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to redraft the top 10 of the 2018 AFL draft, commonly referred to as the Super Draft. Well, the modern Super Draft. What was the other Super Draft, like 2003 or something? There's one of those ones they call the Super Draft. I don't know which one it was, but yeah, this one now has got to be known as the Super Draft because it's that good. So we've gone through. We haven't reordered the top 10. We've just picked our top 10 if we were going to do it now with the hindsight that we have excluded the rookie draft because that gets too confusing. And we've also banned mature age recruits. Sorry to Nick Hind because he would have probably been a mine, to be honest. But so, Pilch, you can start us off, mate. A lot of port flavour to this top 10, so we'll let you go on about that and try and keep it downstairs. Don't want to be pitching up a tent, mate. But who are you drafting and where are you drafting them in the top 10?
Do you want me to reel off my whole top 10?
Go 10-1, actually, to spice it up. But yeah.
Okay. Number 10, I've got James Rowbottom from the Swans. Exciting young midfielder. Looks like a gun. Number 9 hasn't really. I mean, he's shown excitement, but hasn't lit the world on fire. But we know he's talented, and that's Isaac Rankin. Number 8, Jack Lukosius. Might be a bit stiff, but number 7, Xavier Dersma. First member of the Port Boys. Number 6. Number 6, Connor Rosie, which isn't actually too high, so I'm proud of myself for.
Did he go number 6?
Putting him down 6. He went 5.
Okay.
So I've actually dropped him down 1, which is
yeah, I've dropped him as well.
Quite proud of myself for doing that.
Yeah.
Number 5, I got Baz Lenkar. Number 4, Ben King. Number 3, Max King. Just based on the key forward potential. And then I'll go number 1. Or should I go 2?
Go number 1.
Right. Number 1, I've got my boy, Zach Butters.
Oh, you are a gib.
You can call me biased, but in my opinion, he has been the best player in this draft this season and last season. A lot of people would say Walsh, but Butters was the one who made the All-Australian squad, and he's gone next level again this season. That first quarter against Richmond on Friday night was just insane. Probably the best individual quarter of footy by anyone this season. But unfortunately, he's done his ankle. But yeah, I've put him at 1 over Walsh. Walsh at 2.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that quarter. Nothing on JPK's fourth quarter against Richmond at the G. Circa. What year was that? 2016, 17? Put the boys on the back. Nah, the best quarter I've seen is actually Alex Ranch. Was it the same game?
It was the same
quarter.
Swear
he was defending 5 blokes at once.
Actually, it might have been the third quarter.
That was like just before he lost his ability and just started flopping around the joint. But yeah, he was sick that game. Anyway, that has absolutely no context to anyone else apart from us. All right, Rowie, do you want to go 10-1, mate?
Will do. I'll list off my 10 and I'll list off some honourable mentions. At number 10, I've actually got all the way down to pick 64. I've got Lachlan Scholl. I've picked him just ahead of Rowbottom, given I think it's harder to find a player of Scholl's ability and quality than Rowbottom. I think obviously Scholl's one of the best sort of rebounding defenders, wingers in the game. Obviously one of the best kicks, or will be one of the best kicks. He's finding 30 odd possessions now, so I think it's unreal for someone that's got the weirdest body type I've ever seen. Like, he's really sort of skinny and wiry, and his head's like shrunken down to his shoulders. But I don't know, he's a gun. At number 9, I've got the bow and arrow Durs. I loved what I saw in his first season. Obviously, he's had a bit of injury and maybe a tiny bit of form slump since then. But apart from that, I think he's a gun. I think he will be a gun. Just want to see more bow and arrows from him. In number 8, Rankin. I agree with you, Pilch. Just, I think we already know what he's like and what he could potentially be. So, he's one of the most, if not the most exciting player to watch in the AFL when he's on. So I've got him in at 8. When he's older, he's going to get that consistency and he's going to be unreal to watch. So at 7, I've got Jack Lukosius. I really rate the picking a quality tall in a draft, because they're like quality mids are a bit easier to find. Quality talls are a lot harder to find, but he hasn't quite like found his position yet. He's a bit of a swingman at the moment. At number 6, I've also got Connor Rozee. Reckon it would have been higher if he had played a couple of full seasons. Obviously, he's a bit hit by injuries at the moment, but he's obviously a genuine star. And when he moves into that midfield, it's going to be awesome. Number 5, I've got Baz Lenker, the man that can't shrug off one of my U9 tackles. But anyway, so I've got him in at 5. But yeah, for anyone that didn't know, I pinged him for holding the ball, playing on the Fisher Oval about 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning for Haileybury. Just we had no right to be playing them as well. I think we were the C's and they were the A's. But anyway, pick 4. Pick 4 of Pillage. Pick 4, I've got Zach Butters. I haven't quite got him into that 3. I think he will be very soon. And obviously, don't get me wrong, he's a gun. I think we're all starting to realise just how good he is. I think being a Port fan, haven't noticed him as much as maybe you lot. Number 3, I've got Walshy. Obviously, just the star of the comp, really gets sort of 25, 30 touches and just runs his heart out. So, as you've probably noticed, I've got 2 very tall blokes who I haven't mentioned yet. But a bit of, I don't know, probably not St Kilda wise, probably more St Kilda logic. I've got Max King in at 1. I think he's showing the capabilities. He's going to be not just like one of the best tall forwards in the comp, but one of the most sort of freakish plays in the comp. I mean, we've seen how sort of agile and quick he can be. I think on the weekend he dropped it was a big pack mark of like 4 people. I think it was his first goal in the first quarter. He unfortunately dropped the mark, but quickly crumbed his own work. Flew up, dribbled it in. You wouldn't see a big solid tall forward maybe doing that. They wouldn't have the speed or anything like that. But I think Max King is going to be. He's obviously got the speed of a midfielder. He's got the kick of, a solid rebounding halfback, and just the hands of, well, I want to say something, but probably isn't appropriate. But I've got Ben King, obviously, at 2. I think he's obviously a gun as well. But I think we've got to pick Max ahead of him. I think Max will be slightly better, as I think a few people obviously picked in junior years. That's why Max went a couple ahead. But definitely can't go past the King boys at 1 and 2. I think to find players, to find tall forwards that you are near enough certain they're going to be incredible, you have to go 1 and 2. I think in previous years, people like Josh Shackey and all that, who there were a bit of concerns over their toughness and stuff as an AFL player. Paddy McCartan had some issues, obviously, with his diabetes weren't really an issue, but just sort of fitness and all that before his draft year. I think the Kings, we saw no issues whatsoever. So I think when those opportunities come, you've got to take them as high as possible. So that's why in the redraft I've got him at 1 and 2. But honourable mentions are obviously Roe Bottom and Isaac Quainer as well. I think deserves to be in there, along with sort of Jordan Clark and Taron Thomas and all that. So yeah,
Boyd Woodcock.
Yeah.
Boyd Horsecock. Yeah. He's in there.
He's probably going to get a game this week.
Was he mature age or is he genuinely?
No, he's our age.
Oh, okay.
Boyd Horsecock. I'm gone.
I picked him in his last year. I had to pick a rookie to pick up, and it was a Thursday night game. I think his first game, and I didn't know any other rookies were going to play. And Horsecock was named, so I had to jump the gun and pick him in his first week. So every time, I don't know who you're playing. I think it might have. Who was it? It was at Adelaide Oval.
It was the Doggies, I think.
Doggies, yeah. I just remember every time he got the ball, because I think I also had him in a multi. And I would just shout out on the group chat, Matches Horsecock in capital letters. I don't know why that nickname came to mind, but it was, I don't know, I just went with it.
Have you seen their YouTube channel, Rowie?
No, I haven't.
They was it only last year, Pilch? They had a fortnight YouTube channel. Was Connor Rozee the host, or did he run it?
Oh, it was just the AFL Gamers Network, but Rozee, Butters and Woodcock did like a weekly streams on it with Fortnite. No, I used to tune in.
Yeah, they were
And it was literally
strange.
just Rosie and Butters just bullying Woodcock, like genuine cyberbullying.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's great.
All right, moving on to my top 10. Honourable mentions go to Lockie Scholl, as Roy mentioned, deserved.
Yeah.
He got the Rising Star this week, didn't he?
Second time in his career, yeah.
Yeah, fair play to him. They said it's like this esteemed list who's done it. And I actually saw the list and I'll be honest, didn't know half of them.
Not
but fair
esteemed.
enough. Yeah, I was a bit confused.
Just the
but,
list.
yeah. I've actually left out 1 and 2. Oh no, 2 and 3, not 1 and 2. I forgot 1. Lukosius and Rankin, I've left them out as honourable mentions. I just think Lukosius, if he was a legit tall forward or tall defender, I'd probably have him in the top 10. As we've mentioned, the Kings, obviously, key positions are tough to find. But yeah, as you mentioned, Roy, hasn't really found his spot, found himself on the wing, found himself off the halfback flank. So I'm going to leave him out. And then Rankin, yeah, he's very skillful, but I just think the players in here are better. All right, number 10, I'm going Isaac Quaynor. I think he went number 12 or something like that. Number 13 it was. I think he's just been a pretty reliable player since he's come in. I reckon he's one of those guys who you can just pencil him in for 200 games off the halfback. He's probably not going to ever make like an All-Australian side or something like that, but and he's probably not going to win too many best ons like probably a Rankin will, but I just think he's going to be very reliable over his career. Number 9, controversial because statistically he's nowhere near the rest of these guys, but just the fact that he's getting regular games at a really good team. I've gone Jordan Clark. I think it may be a little bit to his downfall like Baz Lenker, that they're part of a really good side, so they probably see less footy than they would if they were at like a Sydney or a Gold Coast. But yeah, I think Jordan Clark's my number 9. I've gone Rosie at 8. Yeah, it's probably stiff, but he has had his injury issues, and it's obviously a very good list. I've gone Baz Lenker at number 7. As I mentioned, probably stiff that he plays in the best midfield in the comp, so he has to really fight hard for his footy, but I've got him at 7. I've actually got James Rowbottom at number 6. I know that's controversial, but my algorithm for my Brownlow votes absolutely loves his work in the clearance. So I've gone Rowbottom at 6. I've gone Dersmer at 5 just because I think his position is a little bit harder to find. I think inside mids, yes, it's very crucial, but they're a little bit more common than a classy outside player like Dersmer. But I've got Butters at number 4. Yes, it was tough to put him there. As someone who's watched Port games closer than others, you know how good he is. But I've got him at 4. Then 3, got to have Walsh, absolute beast. And then the Kings, I'll be honest, I had no idea which one to go with, 1 or 2. I looked at their average goals per game. It's basically the exact same. But I don't know why. I just remember Ben playing defence at school for you, I think. So I've gone, maybe he's a little bit more versatile, but realistically they're pretty similar players. And if I want to see Ben, the amount of times Ben has kicked like the second or third goal in the game, he is an absolute beast.
Specialist. Yeah.
He's a beast in the first 10 minutes. I think I saw once he kicked like 3 or 4 in the first quarter and didn't kick another for the rest of the game. I think I saw that last year, but yeah, Max 2, Ben 1. But yeah, obviously both absolute freaks in positions that it's hard to find. So I think they're rightly 1 and 2.
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.